So let's we talk about.
Is it passive aggressive?
It is. Okay. I think because you don't address it with anybody, you just say,
Okay, so here's my new rule. All right, new rule. I'm a bitch about being on time. I really am. It kills me when I'm late. It just kills me. I know this is my dad. I've been to therapy. I know what this is all about. But
should you still be in therapy? That's the real question.
But it's all like, no, I've learned some of those lessons. I probably should do a little fresh up course. But here's the thing is that like, I know, I'm a stickler for time.
Yeah.
I'm with someone who is not, by the way.
Which so you've taken it out on the rest of us.
Which has taught me a great lesson. Welcome to 2 Shots and a Royalty Check, brought to you by Venmo, Your Money, Your Move, and Liquid Death, Murder Your Thirst. Let's get back into it. By the way, a great lesson in humility, and in acceptance of other people's time, space. Okay, but here's my new rule.
You have two of us, and you have me. So
yeah, but you're not extreme about it. Like, okay, growing up, one of my really close friends who was actually in my a cappella group, and we did a bunch of music together, just very close friend.
Yeah,
Jerry was like. He was, and Jerry with a G, by the way.
Oh, perfect.
So Gerhard. He was chronically like 15, 20, 30 minutes late. And he had no idea. Like he wasn't fucking around. He's a guy. It's not like he was doing his hair or anything and he was late or picking out an outfit. Like, fashionably late or whatever. It wasn't that. He just had no concept of the time we all live in, of this space-time. And so it wasn't even like he was guilty. Like, he would show up, like, late and be like, what? I don't understand. Like, it just was all fluid to him.
Mm-hmm.
And so we would tell him, okay, showtime is at, showtime's at 9:30. And showtime was actually at 10:15.
Yeah.
Because I knew he would be 30 minutes late. We got to the point where we just lied to him. Okay, we're all going to meet at Greg's house at 11 o'clock, and we wouldn't be there until noon.
Yeah.
It wasn't going to ever start until noon.
Yeah.
And so he would, come ambling in and... Yeah, and so I got used to it with him. We just would fuck with him and basically just tell him. So here's my new rule lately, is that people that like book a meeting with me or a Zoom call or whatever, and let's say the time is, let's say just in general, it's like 11:30. Mm-hmm. We're going to meet at 11:30.
Yeah.
If you come into my Zoom 3 minutes late, I see you come in. I see someone come in, entered the room, right? And of course, I'm the one hosting, so I've had to fire it up, test my mic, test my camera, make sure the lighting's fine, make sure everything's good, have the recording on. Whatever it is, I got to do all that 15 minutes ahead of time. My point of view is I'm on time if I'm 15 minutes early.
Yes.
I'm that dickhead that showed up to work early. But, okay, so if that happens... Let's say someone comes into my Zoom room at like, say, 11:33.
Mm-hmm.
And I see so-and-so has entered.
It's okay. You can say it was me.
I know it's not. Okay, here's the thing. You are consistently 3 minutes late.
Yes.
But like, that's within the 5-minute realm. Like, okay. I think there's a 5-minute buffer.
Okay. All right.
Now, in this world, you're not driving. There's some different things. And if you're late, but you're ready to go, like the thing is on, you've got everything working instead of, oh my God, I got to turn everything on. That's more of an issue for me. It's not just you, it's everyone. It's like, you knew we were going to do this. Fire up your rig, man. Not you.
My rig was fired up, but I had a call from a customer whose studio, he was having an issue with the DI, and I was troubleshooting it. And it's always right before I'm doing something. So I think that this is me manifesting these things that are making me 3 to 5 minutes late for everything. Which is still that's acceptable. It's allowable. 5 is fine. However, yes,
if someone books something with me, like a serious call, or we're gonna meet, we talk about it. It's 11:30. We know it's gonna happen, and they're 3 minutes late. What I do is I let them sit there for 3 minutes from the time they get in. So here's the thing. Whatever amount of time you're late to my Zoom, I'm going to wait that amount of time to let you enter. Is it passive aggressive or just aggressive?
Because if it's aggressive, and it's passive aggressive because you're not going into the meeting and go, listen up, fuckers. The reason you waited 4 minutes to get into this fucking Zoom call is because you were 4 minutes late.
And that's aggressive, right? You know I'm there because you're in the room.
Yeah.
It's waiting.
I mean, it is passive aggressive because you get on the Zoom call like, hey guys, and then you don't address the time lag.
Right.
Do you?
I don't get mad about it.
Don't get mad about it. You just do it and go. It's like there's just this subtle attitude of go fuck yourself.
Do you remember back in the day when you would make long distance calls to like New York or something like that?
Yeah, we talked about how I got in trouble for that shit calling the NFL for a fucking week and a half.
I called Japan. But like, I'm just saying, like, I used to, for the longest time, think, okay, they're 3 minutes late because it's further away. You know what I mean? Like, the clock is a little bit off the further away you go.
Yeah.
Like, it may be 12 here, and even though it's 2 o'clock Eastern, it may be 2:03 because it's further away.
Yeah.
Like, I used to think that way.
How did people, like, do things with that before they had that? Like, you know, how did you sync up time zones when, you know, we didn't have the nuclear clock to guide us all home with its...
Well, Stu, it was in the back of your phone book. There was a big map that said what the time zones were.
Yeah. Yeah, but how did you know? Like, okay, so like I'm looking at my book. Okay, so it's 2:04 here. How do I know I'm right? No,
you don't know.
So that's the thing.
I mean, there's a whole thing on TikTok about how Gen X used to call a number to find out what time it was. And that is absolutely fucking true. We used to just call and get the time. The time currently is 2:05.
I remember that fucking thing.
Yeah. And it would tell you the temperature too, which, by the way, now we know that temperature, like in Denver, a lot of times the temperature is taken, the official temperature is at the airport.
Really?
Where and it's fucking, a lot of people
10 degrees colder.
Yeah, if you don't have pinpoint weather or whatever, it's giving you the official temperature of Denver, which is at the airport, which anyone who's been to Denver knows that's damn near Kansas.
Yeah.
Like that is nowhere near Denver. And the wind-swept fields, it's so much colder or warmer
fields.
There. Wind-swept fields.
Speaking of the talks, dare we jump directly into the debacle and fuckery that is UMG versus TikTok.
UMG.
Wow. And
I know.
First things first, how late in the day yesterday were you still checking to see if you could place a Taylor Swift song in your TikTok?
10 o'clock.
10 p.m. How was it this morning? Because I haven't checked this morning.
It's out. It's done.
It's done. They got it all off in 24 hours.
They got it all off this morning.
Wow.
You know, I didn't check it overnight, but I imagine they had people working overnight. That was the thing to me. So we'll reframe this if you haven't heard. UMG, they own 32 to 33% of the entire music market.
Yeah.
And that includes 50 labels. That includes probably nearly 1,000 artists. But don't just think about the artists they have, like Taylor Swift, Drake, blah, 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 right?
Yeah.
But also all the back catalog that they own.
Oh, God,
like,
it's
huge.
It's
a ton
a lot.
of fucking artists.
Yeah.
And so they're in a renegotiation with TikTok.
Yeah.
TikTok, when it started, they basically took the same kind of deals that Spotify does.
Yeah.
And with the labels and said, we'll pay you per usage a certain amount of money. And no one really knows what it is. These are all under NDAs and stuff. A lot of people assumed it was about 3 cents, which was an amazing amount of money.
Yeah.
But they were new and fledgling.
Yeah.
And then during the pandemic, it kind of takes off and people start using it more. And now it's become indispensable for artists if you're launching, and especially like to bring back a song. I personally have worked with a producer and an artist who got signed based on their TikTok.
Yeah.
Like based on TikTok action. And by the way, not even US stuff. Like they became a huge hit overseas, which brought it to here, got wrapped into anime. Then the streams went up and they got a huge deal.
Yeah.
So it's a huge deal. It is a big fucking deal.
Yeah.
And so as it happened, well, they only had a certain amount of money in that royalty pool that they were paying out.
Yeah.
And as more people were joining TikTok and using those sounds, they had to switch commercial usage.
Yeah.
So if you have a commercial account, you can't use some of those songs because it's treated differently.
Yeah.
But user-generated shit, no problem.
Yeah.
Well, as more and more people use it, that means each play got less. Like,
Yeah.
I will say 2 years ago, I got a TikTok royalty statement for an artist I was working with on some songs I was working with that I have a piece of publishing. And, you know, they were paying basically on if someone created a video using your sound, but not necessarily like a stitch, not necessarily like someone just using your sound. Like, it had to be a created video. They would pay you for that created video. And then they would pay you for a certain amount of the plays of that video, but not per play, not per every single play. And it was, you know, we were doing, I think, something like 20,000, 30,000 plays. It was like $300.
Yeah. Wow. That's impressive.
It was surprising. I was like, oh shit, this is, you know, and when you're looking at your royalty statements from YouTube and Spotify and Apple and blah, blah, and then you see TikTok like pop out there and they go, oh, holy shit, that's where the money is.
Yeah. So
I'm sure labels saw the same thing. You know, I'm a label too. I'm sure major labels, that number is far bigger, obviously. Or a publisher is like, that number is far bigger.
Yeah.
And so what happened is that they had to come up on renegotiation.
Yeah.
So UMG, Universal Music Group, basically said, well, we want a certain amount of money per play or per usage.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how they actually were negotiating it. And TikTok was like, yeah, we don't have that. We're not going to do that. We would have to put too many ads on there. And we see ourselves as more of a discovery platform, not a streamer. UMG wanted to treat them the same as Spotify. TikTok thinks of themselves more of like YouTube in a way, like sort of like, it doesn't matter what the streaming costs are. It's more of a discovery mechanism.
Yeah.
And so between the two of them, they basically fought, and then it became public, where UMG was like, you know, we're going to walk away from this because the revenue isn't high enough. You're allowing AI music of our artists, of our royalty generating masters. And also, you know, I think there was a third. I can't remember what the third thing was. Oh, I think it was infringement.
Oh, shit.
Which is hilarious that infringement was the third one. They're like, yo, we're really concerned about the money. We're really concerned about AI, and also you're stealing.
You're stealing our stuff.
And infringement meaning some people doing covers or, you know, different versions of those songs which are not licensed to TikTok, basically. Or it's in the background, which sometimes would get taken down, but TikTok doesn't have a great system for that because that's just not what they do.
Yeah.
And then TikTok came back and said, yeah, fuck you.
Yeah.
We don't care. We think that we're powerful enough, especially in the U.S., to where you should take the deal we're offering you. And UMG went, all right, well, fuck you. We're going to take all of the world's, basically the majority of major label music, we're going to take it off of TikTok. And TikTok basically said, dare ya. And this morning,
it was all gone.
Yeah. And so, I mean, there's a lot of interesting things music business-wise in this. One, it's a huge blow to major artists who are making money. Just ancillary money. Taylor Swift, Drake, like the biggest artists in the world that music gets used all the time. I mean, you remember the year where Lizzo was just being used constantly.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, it does. It drives sales. It drives streams. It does. It actually does. However, without that music, the royalty pool is bigger. So independent music, technically, if this lasts for a quarter or more, should get paid a little bit more from the general music royalty pool that TikTok has. Now, God knows whether or not that's actually going to stream down to us. Probably not. It's just like the Spotify
economics.
Thing. Piss on you. Here's another cent. So that's one. The other major thing about this, and this is what I found amazing this morning, that nobody's talking about but me, is guess what's still on TikTok? Taylor Swift sped up music.
Oh, wow.
So user gen sped up.
Interesting.
So it wasn't released. So not Ariana Grande's released shit.
Yeah, somebody else did
this.
But
the sped up music is still on there. So like, if you want, like right now, if you, and, you know, by the time you hear this, who knows whether this will still be going on. But today, if you were to go on TikTok and you search a sound for Taylor Swift and you want to use Lover or something, you can't find Taylor Swift, But you can find Taylor Swift version Lover Sped Up, and it's by NZ594 or whatever.
Yeah.
And you could use that, and you still get to use kind of a Taylor Swift song. And that is infringement, right? That is completely what UMG is talking about.
Yeah. But also that gives me the thing that says, as an artist, I should have a little bit of skin in that game if that's what the customer is asking for. I should be doing that. And I should be controlling that, because then they can't.
I had a lawyer that I talked to about this. There's a real weird lane here to parse about sped up music.
Okay.
Like, if it's a mastered version of the song, that is the copyright infringement if you're using that master, right?
Yeah.
However, if you fuck it up enough to be a transformative master, which is kind of what sped up music is thought to be, it may not be infringement on the master for the rights holders. Now, it may be going against what the spirit of the law, and certainly the artist isn't getting paid. It's not nice. I don't care for it. But like we both had this conversation where we kind of tend to agree that I'm not sure a court would hold it up as complete infringement. I mean, depending on the courts, depending on which one you went to. But a grand point could be made that it is transformative enough to almost be parody.
Yeah. Okay. Now we're in Weird Al territory.
Yeah, which, but then you get into, there's two sides. We have the recording, right?
Yeah.
And then you got the composition side. Composition side still isn't cleared.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the publishers still have a deal with TikTok. Mm-hmm. So this is all about basically the recording side. The UMG is talking about the recording side. But, the publishers are going to get fucked on this too, because the publishers get paid on those. Yeah. On those songs. And so anyway, this sped up thing, we basically agreed, had Taylor put out, we're just using Taylor Swift because her and Drake are the largest UMG artists. So, But basically, if Taylor Swift had put out her own sped up version, then it would absolutely be infringement if someone user generated put up a sped up version of the recording, of the recording side of it.
Yeah, that's interesting. This is, who the fuck is talking about this stuff though? Like that, especially with regards to that's the thing. Like, you want an exclusive on
in San Francisco.
2ShotsMusicPod exclusive right here. You want to know where the kids are playing? It's in sped up shit.
I know.
We were
doing
on
this
speed.
months ago. Months ago.
We've been talking about this. And it's because you've mentioned this before. There's so many people that are trying to make decisions about these platforms and aren't actually engaged on these platforms, Yeah. You in particular, more so than me, I've got the platforms that I enjoy and I play and I fiddle around with, But you're very much a content consumer and creator, so you're constantly engaged in these platforms, and you're constantly seeing what people are using and how they're doing it. And one of the things that's amazing about TikTok for me is I feel like it's kind of the Wild West a little bit out there, like the new frontier, because like Facebook and Instagram and even Snapchat, who the fuck's using that anymore? There's very
drug
specific drug dealers. Oh, that's where they went. Okay.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist.
You do the drop on 14th and Allegheny and it disappears.
That's not us admitting to anything yet. But with TikTok,
this podcast will disappear in 3 seconds.
With Facebook and Instagram, there's very specific rules with regards to the things that you place on there, how you interact with the platform, how your fans interact with the platform. If they're not, utilizing, this, that, and the other thing, like your post will get quelled. It'll get shoved down in the feed. TikTok, the opportunity to go big and not have any followers is still fucking there. Like, it is still, you can still go viral and not have any of the other shit in place. Now, if you have
for
the other
no
shit
reason.
in place, for no reason whatsoever. So that's why it's like...
you don't have to do what we call juicing.
No.
Like, when you do... You can go big on Instagram and Facebook, and you can go... you can make Twitter work a little bit sometimes. But...
It's
almost everyone that does, they have to pay to get through the algorithm.
Yeah, exactly.
So, you're showing it to 10 to 15% of your follower count. But so if you build up that momentum, nothing really goes viral for everyone on Facebook.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nothing
Grandmas and
really-
racists.
Yeah, racist. And it's the same thing with Twitter now.
Yeah.
Like, and nothing, and
Yeah.
it's very segmented.
Yeah.
How Twitter does it too. Like, it will just show, it's trying to push you into different categories, into different niches to get you to, start listening to the other side. Like, they have a point of view. What Twitter is doing now, and whatever, they'll call it X, but what they're trying to do is get other, like, I'll see ads for the Liver King. I don't give a fuck about the Liver King. But then they have such a horrible job of the way that they're doing it, as I will see ads for bras.
Excellent.
And this is where I'm okay with cookies. This is where I'm okay with tracking.
Yeah.
It's like, I shouldn't see that. Like, you're wasting your fucking money.
Yeah.
But it's also the reason why things, because of the way that Twitter changed their algorithm to basically weight it to certain silos of information so that free speech kind of lives a little bit more, is that you just see more bad stuff.
Yeah,
That's
you
all
see more
really
stuff
see.
you don't want to see. Yeah.
But we haven't had a moment on Twitter like the dress moment, is that blue or gold?
Yeah.
We haven't had a moment of those things that have gone viral. I was trying to think about what the thing was where like the hogs running wild.
Yeah.
There was a few things on Twitter that a lot of us that have been on there since the beginning, we all experienced at once. Live events are horrible on Twitter now, because if you're not a blue check and if you're not all this other stuff, you are absolutely being throttled. You're being throttled in what you see and how many posts show up on your feed. And it's the same thing with Facebook. You're being throttled with ads. You're not only are you being throttled by how many things you see on your news feed, but you're being throttled by the inclusion of ads where your friends' posts would have been.
Yeah. I was having a conversation.
TikTok isn't that way.
Yeah, exactly. Like the number of artists that I've been having consultations with where they are not on TikTok, and I said, just fucking do it, would you?
And why? Did they tell you why?
Because it's not. They don't think their audience is there.
They think it's really for the kids.
They think it's for the kids. Yeah. They're like, you guys are flossing next to a left shark or whatever the fuck it. I don't remember. That's fucking way old. I'm like old man reference over here, yelling at a cloud. But yeah, it's a lot of like my audience isn't on there, and it's like, well, how do you know that? Especially consider we were talking last week about, or a couple weeks ago, about how country is now big on Spotify when it wasn't. Yeah. It wasn't for a while. Like more people are starting to discover these things. I like TikTok because. I like how I like one-handed stuff, Yeah. But I like the things I know. But like Instagram is one thing. Instagram is very much guitars, motorcycles, and music stuff and cute dogs. TikTok, I have been able to kind of wrangle into this place where I'm getting, like people working on old houses and woodworking and music, right? So I've been able to kind of have it's a separate thing for me, and I get to and there's a lot of like this old house, fucking like stuff. There's content for me as a 73-year-old man on there as well of stuff that I'm into that just I had no idea existed. So the content is there for people of this age, and so that means that more people like me and like you are going to start engaging on that platform. But also the rules are out of the. I don't understand how TikTok works yet. I understand how algorithms work, but I don't understand how it's possible that if I haven't done the juicing part of the thing, how something I do, like I've seen this and we've seen this with this particular podcast. So one day something will just have like 720,000 views, and we're like, and the next one has 5. We're like, what the fuck? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
I kind of love that.
No, it's great. Because that's the thing is that, like, virality and randomness. Mm-hmm. Like, if you know that there's X amount of users on a platform, say it's 20 million in the U.S. on TikTok or whatever it is, that means that somebody should have 15 million views on something. Mm-hmm. And that same person should have 10 views on something. Yeah. But we don't see that, right? We see there's a limit to the top of how many people see a certain thing. Even the most viral thing on TikTok has a limit.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it's because of the For You page and the following. So the way that all the rest of the stuff works is following versus like what your news feed is.
Yeah.
So who you follow and all the rest of it. But the For You page on TikTok is so powerful because it is constantly updating itself algorithmically of like, did you like that? Did you like this? How long did you stay on it? Did you miss it? And then you went back to it.
Yeah.
Did you turn up the sound? Did you like it? Did you comment on it? Did you follow that person? Oh shit, you're going to see a bunch of that in the next 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And then you do that. And because it's so quick, you can scroll again. And then you get that guy again talking about keto diets or whatever. You're like, no. I was just interested in what he was saying there. Fuck that. And you just keep scrolling through. And like within 10 minutes, TikTok will learn he's not into that.
Yeah.
We don't need to show him everything keto. He was just into that guy. Okay, let's go to this guy. And we think that this woman likes this person. And that's how it works.
The amount of data.
It scrolls itself so quickly.
Wow.
And the other reason why, artists are not getting why TikTok is becoming older. It's, I mean, for lack of a better word, it's becoming older. Millennials, Zennials, and Gen Xers are taking over a huge part of TikTok. Yeah. And the reason why is because it's channel flipping.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's channel flipping. Everyone misses. I don't want to look at a fucking menu. Entertain me while I am trying to be entertained. Yeah. And like there's something that is just, and then you fall onto something. You're like, my little show. And then you have your little friends on there that you're like, oh, Elise Myers, love her. Or boom, 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 Andrewski. And you just keep going through and you're like, okay, there's some of my favorite people. Yeah. And it's like your favorite shows showing up. Mm-hmm. And then you get like new episodes of something. You're like, oh, who's this new person? Who's this? Like, and you can retrain your algorithm in TikTok so damn quickly to be like, I want to see people making Korean food with ASMR who are from Canada. Yeah. You know, like you can
It's very specific.
I'm in it.
But the thing, like, I really
people
like
raising goats. You can see it. Like,
this is there's like cute animal videos. I'm fucking done. It's the thing that's interesting about this is like with UMG pulling all their artists off of TikTok. It's like this with regards to how we're describing this platform as independent artists. Get your shit together and get up there and start playing. Because now there's a little bit like for at least for a couple days, there's a little bit of a broader place to play in. So let's see what happens.
And that may be all you need on TikTok.
That may be all you need. So I mean, hopefully we can let's put this out early. Just kidding.
I know. But the good thing about TikTok, especially let's bring it back to like artists and independent music and stuff. The good thing about TikTok, in my opinion, and everyone can argue about ByteDance and Chinese ownership, and even though I think it's pretty much siloed in a lot of countries, U.S. is very siloed. Yeah. There were just the congressional hearings again where they're like, have you ever been a member of the Communist Party? Oh. Tom Cotton asking that of the CEO. And he's like, sir, I'm Singaporean. No. Well, but I mean, Singapore is basically China, and they're like, oh, holy shit, you guys. Yeah. Please just never ask a question you don't know the answer to.
That's the equivalent of just saying, all Asian people look exactly the same. Like,
exactly.
It's like, fuck you, man.
Not realizing India's in Asia. But like, but one of the reasons why is there is so much segmentation where TikTok wants to reward you for watching. Yeah. And the segmentation of if you get into music, it will show you tons of people who are trying to get you into music. Mm-hmm. It will give you a chance to love new artists, to find new artists. Mm. And as a new artist, if you do it the right way, if it is entertaining and quick and not bullshit, not like, I wrote this song about the summer that click. I've scrolled away before you said saw.
I just like
do the song and lip sync it. Lip sync the song, use their sound. We've gone through this. Go find our old podcasts about this. You can. There's 1,000 ways to do it. But
there's only 45 of them. You could, it's not a hard. 45 hours of your life. Sometimes some of them are a little longer. So, but like 50 to 100 hours of your life. To just that's one college course. You're fine. Listen to
easily.
It all.
We should give away degrees.
Yeah,
a 2-shot degree.
A 2-shot degree, and it's
Juliana
a bottle of Jose
gets one,
Cuervo.
by the way. Hi, Juliana.
Hi,
you
Juliana.
Get a degree.
Yes.
You get a degree, and you get a degree.
She was asking the other day about getting mugs, and I said, we already have mugs. And she's like, fuck. And she hopped up on the website, and there's the fucking mugs.
Yeah. We have
got
things.
mugs. We got mugs.
I guess we do.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but that's the thing is for an independent artist, you have a shot to really don't think of it as money yet.
Yeah.
If you think of it as like fan building, of audience building, community building, and again, this is where it comes down to why I use these things so much. People on there, myself included, I know if you don't know TikTok.
Yeah.
Like, I know if you're fucking, hi, everyone. Yeah, you don't get it.
Yeah.
That's not what TikTok is.
Yeah.
Like, it's not what it is. Like, I can tell you're an old. If you're not talking to me personally. And, like, I'm just...
You are an old.
People know when you've used a platform, how you use it, the kind of terms you use, how quick you use it, the kind of editing you use, that kind of stuff. And, like, so, like, you have to use it. Enjoy it for a little while before you even post anything.
Yeah.
And so, like, that will help you more than anything else.
Yeah.
But yes, you can make a dent on TikTok.
How many people do you think go onto these platforms and they actually spend some time learning it before they start posting? I don't think that's a typical process. I think people get on there and like be like, "Here's my first post," and you're like, it's like, and it's just like, well, why didn't it work for me? Because you don't know how to use it yet, and that's okay.
Yeah,
I mean,
and there's a lot of ways. There's a lot of ways. There's lanes, like so. Yeah. If you get on it and you start seeing dances and stuff, you're like, oh shit, okay, I should put this up with my daughter and we'll do a dance to a song. How fun. Yeah. Well, like that's all your TikTok is. Yeah. And so, like, if you don't understand that that's not all that there is, if you don't understand from using it daily, monthly, changing your algorithm by what you like, what you don't, what you spin by, if you don't get that, you're going to get stuck into something. As creators, you will find creators on TikTok that talk about this all the time. They hit on something, and then they create something, and they're like, okay, that's what I'm known for, but that's not what I want to do forever. Yeah. Like they do one recipe and everyone's like, okay, you're the recipe chick for lowering blood pressure or whatever. Yeah. It's like, no. No, I have other things.
Yeah, I have other things. I like to talk about my feelings in knitting. And but it's real quick, is Kelsey in today?
Yes, she is. Hi, Kelsey.
I'm like a little shocked that we got to music business that quick and she's in the booth because normally
she's just scrolling TikTok this whole time. No, it's all right. She's learning.
Yeah. So maybe
talk
she'll
about
teach
people
us
that don't like platforms.
Ooh, yeah. Has anybody found her yet on the platform that shall not be named?
No.
She says no. Okay. All right.
She's on Instagram.
Oh, we did give that away, didn't we? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
She has said she is not on TikTok. She's waving her hand. No on TikTok.
No on the talk. Okay. Well, fine. I guess if you're not into that,
she's an audio person. All these things are visuals.
So she's like she likes her podcast.
She listens. She reads books.
Oh, very good. Yeah, I'm of a similar ilk, but I do spend an inordinate amount of time on the toilet scrolling TikTok.
For as young as she, I'm like, I can't believe you're not on all these. But I think she's lying about TikTok. Clearly, she's using.
Or she's lying about her age. Shots fired. Is she flipping me off right now? Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. Fair enough. That's
all
fair.
Right. We'll move on to other things, not music business.
Other things. Yeah. Back to my feelings.
Or no, we should move on to music business stuff. I thought as if that wasn't.
That what? Yeah. That was actually. I mean, I think that's one of the bigger questions I get is social media questions like how do I go viral? God, I hate that fucking question. First of all. Because if you're trying to go viral, you won't go viral. Essentially.
My answer to that is you won't go viral if you're not using.
Yeah.
Like if you're not on the platform, involved in it, commenting, following other people, being personable, like not even posting, but like if you're not native to the platform, whether it's Instagram, TikTok, whatever it is, you will not go viral because you will not understand it that day. You won't get it. You won't respond to somebody. Like that's the only way you do go viral.
So how much time would you say that you on the daily spend on social media?
Probably 15 to 20 minutes an hour.
Okay. All right.
I limit it per hour.
Okay.
I don't really do TikTok until later at night or early in the morning. Like there are certain times. But like I basically have tabs open. I have Twitter open. I have Facebook open. I have Instagram open.
Yeah. I'm just, the reason I'm asking is because like I know, the question I'm getting asked is how much time should I be spending on this? And I think it does come down to personal taste. But also I'm a big proponent of the 4-Hour Work Week, the Tim Ferriss book, which is, like the whole idea of compartmentalizing your time and limiting your people's access to you and your access to other things, and not checking your email all day and all that kind of lifestyle design kind of shit. And with regards to this piece of being an artist, if you've got something you're promoting, you're gonna be engaging for a little, and that's the pre-step before you release anything is get on your platform for 3 months prior to the release plan and start fucking building your rapport up with the platform.
I will caveat Tim Ferriss's thing.
Okay.
The 4-Hour Work Week and all of that ilk, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What's always asterisked right there is someone in the Philippines doing 27 hours of work for you. Mm-hmm. Is executive assistants, because that's what people don't say in the little back of the jacket thing about a 4-hour work week is that you don't need to check your email all day. It's because he has someone checking his email. He is paying someone from Malaysia or the Philippines a low dollar amount to do that. By the way, he's paying someone to answer that email, to get back to them. He's paying someone to do the scheduling, to do all the rest of the things.
You think
he
so?
doesn't
You don't think
need
he just
to
got
fucking
autoresponders or anything
No, I've
like
read
that?
the books. Read it.
Yeah.
Read it. You'll find out. It's all about virtual assistants. That's how you get to not spending that much time doing those mundane tasks. And while that's fine for someone in that position, like, I like the dirty work. I want to know the conversation. I want to answer it myself. I don't want to trust someone and teach someone how to answer it for me. Yeah. Now, that may change with AI. That may change with some of these things. Yeah. But, like, I have done that in the past. I was a staunch proponent of doing that kind of stuff when I was doing more executive stuff with apps and things. And what I found is I was spending constant amount of time training a virtual assistant to answer my emails, to answer all the things, and then they would have questions for me. And, you can get to a point to where you are saving yourself time, but you know what? You're out of the fucking loop, man. Yeah. You are out of the loop. And then it becomes like, which one of these things is hot, which one isn't? Like, which one is an opportunity and which one isn't? Which one is something you should have talked to that person that day about instead of your scheduled Thursday 10 a.m. when you do your personal emails? Like, that becomes a personal thing when you have personal relationships within your industry. And in my opinion, especially in music, music and entertainment industry, it's about people. It just is. Sometimes that's a call at 10:30 at night. Sometimes it's a 6 a.m. email. And it's not that your assistant got a hold of you. There are plenty of executives that do that. That's fine. But I find the people that are really, like, when you're in this, I want to know. I want that conversation. I want to know about the UMG thing. Yeah. I don't want my virtual assistant to do some fucking chat GPT and run me a description of what this was. I want to look at it, and I want to look at a bunch of things and synthesize it how I synthesize it and have a conversation with my lawyer friend from San Francisco, not my virtual assistant, me. And that takes up a fuckload of time. And there's just no way to get around that. The other thing about using social media for me personally is that I think about it as a creative. I'm interested in social media for stories, for shit to write about. I want to know what's going on in the world. I'm not looking at the news for, like, the big stuff. I don't give a fuck about the news necessarily, but I do like to be informed. But I like to see little things going on online, on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, or whatever, because it triggers songs, it triggers stories, it triggers creative ideas in me. So, like, this whole Let everyone else do this fun thing on the internet, and I will go and be zen in the backyard for 6 hours a day and not be a part of it. That doesn't work for me.
That works for me. That sounds great for me.
I will take my break. Like, I've taken a huge break from Facebook.
Yeah.
Just because it wasn't serving me. I'm giving a whole lot, and nobody's giving shit to me.
Yeah.
I'm giving a whole lot, and very few people are. I see them posting about the same bullshit over and over, and it's negative, and I don't care. And so I get rid of it. And I knew NAMM was coming up, and so I'm out. But I pulled off a little bit. But you know, that's my thing, is that like I will. There are reasons I use it that are fulfilling for me, but also that are fulfilling for me creatively. And this is where I think this is so important for independent musicians to understand. Too many of you look at these things as commerce lanes. Instead of looking at it as like an entertainment lane.
Or
if it doesn't serve you, fine. Get off of there.
Yeah.
Okay, go write your song about sitting in the forest alone all morning. Great. Yeah. I bet they're boring songs. I'm sorry, but I do. Like I'm sorry. And if you're like, "Oh no, I'm out here living life." Well, you're living life with other people who are on social media.
Yeah.
And so how often when you're not on social media, you personally, Stu, answer me this.
Yes, sir.
How often when you meet up with somebody who's on social media and you're not, when they have, like, there's a group of people and they're having a conversation, "Oh my God, did you see that?" And this blah, 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 and they're talking and you're like, "I didn't see that because I have no idea what you're talking about." It happens with you, doesn't it?
No.
Yeah, it does. It happened with you and me.
It happened with you and me? When? When did that happen?
After your show, I was talking to you and somebody who was there as a guest of yours, and we were talking about something that was happening online. You're like, "Oh yeah, I'm not really doing that."
Yeah, but did that preclude us from having a conversation?
No, it made me have to explain it to you.
I know, and that was part of my enjoyment. I would much rather hear from you.
Not enjoyment for me.
Yeah, okay. Oh, I see.
And so the longer that goes on with the people that you talk to in public, the less they're going to share that. Like, okay, there's someone close in my life that doesn't really know about that kind of shit.
Yeah.
She's not really into that. She has her own little lane. And so I have to give her a download of, like, these are the important things that happen.
I told you you have two of us. There's her and there's me, right? We're both going to be late and you're going to have to explain shit to us.
But I'm just saying, like, what makes you think, not you, but what makes an independent artist think that they can just slosh their way in with a brand new album, making commentary on people's lives that's going to touch their heart and their mind and their soul, when you have no fucking idea what kind of platform they're using every day as their entertainment, and you're like, "I don't understand why I'm not making money." Well, because you don't know what the fuck everyone's talking about. You're not a part of this, and that's fine. Be that outsider. Sell your CDs to someone at the club. Fine. Yeah. But like, if you want to be in the digital realm,
you have to be in the digital realm.
I see so many people bitch about it, and I'm like, "You're not here."
Yeah.
You're not here, and I can't teach you. And by the way, this happens with people who get signed or people that hire me to do the things I do online for people. At some point, I can do like up to 60% of it, right? But you still got to show up. That 40% is still has to be you personally, and it can't be you faking it.
Yeah.
And so when it doesn't work, I often have to tell them, "Well, like, you just got to spend a little bit more time doing this."
Yeah, I do,
and I can't teach it to you. I can't teach it to you.
I do like the idea that you have limits on and boundaries on your time that you spend engaged.
Oh yeah,
and I think that's really the point is that. Yeah, it's not something where you have to set boundaries on it as well, right?
Yeah.
You can't like just be like,
Everyone
I'm going to spend
should.
10 hours for a fucking day scrolling Instagram and my limbs are atrophying, you know?
Everyone should.
Yeah, it has to be boundary. And it was like, because one of the things that, you know, I was curious about when I was talking about all that is where you draw the line, because I think of you as a consumer of that media and a creator and all of that kind of stuff. And I'm like, if even you have boundaries of like, no, less than 20 to 25% of my time is spent doing that thing and engaging in that thing and keeping it way less than that. And so it's, you know, that's the thing is, even though it is very, 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 very important that we be engaged in these platforms. And I am engaged on the platforms but I'm not engaged on the same platform as you are.
Right, right.
I love Instagram is my favorite, and TikTok I don't.
Well, it's because you're
usually.
good looking. Yeah,
That's because I'm really, 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 really good looking.
Yep.
Orange mocha frappuccinos. So it's.
I mean, that's why I'm on Twitter. Because I'm a loser.
Is that where the trolls live?
That's
just
right.
kidding. Fuck.
That's because
Sorry.
I just hate myself.
I think you're gorgeous.
All
and
of
you
us
know
that
this.
are still on Twitter are just flogging ourselves. Of like, oh my god, when's he gonna lose the company?
Twitter never really grabbed me.
When can we go back?
Yeah, Twitter never really grabbed me ever. I mean, I was on there when it first started, and it just never really. I never vibed with it. Which is, I mean, I love Instagram because of the fact that I feel like I've been able to curate that. And that's what I'm enjoying about TikTok as well, is I'm able to, because it's so quick, I'm able to curate what I want, within one session of me viewing the platform. Instagram took months. One of the things that I had an unfortunate game, I think I told you about, I was playing with some friends on Instagram. There was no real gambling involved, but it was called, Does This Person Have an OnlyFans? And that really fucked my algorithm up for a good solid 2 months. And then we played that game for a week, and I started seeing things. I was like, I don't want to see that.
I always explain it like this: Facebook is a garage sale. Okay. Instagram is a nice brunch where you get like a little hug and a little kiss on the side of the cheek, but then people talk about you behind your back.
We need a shirt that says Facebook is a garage sale.
Okay.
Sorry, carry on. That's a nice brunch.
TikTok is a peephole into a theater.
Oh, interesting.
So like you're just looking in at everybody doing their shit. Yeah. Different movies going through.
Yeah.
And then Twitter has always been, I've always explained it like this: Twitter is a secret handshake organization. And if you don't get the secret handshake, you're not in.
Oh,
and you just will never get it. And I know that's true. Like some of us who have been on it forever, it's like since Iran. Like since that time.
Whoa,
like since
that's a while.
Arab Spring shit. Like when you have that depth of usage, there's a secret handshake and like $200 dates and little things that you know about Twitter and how it used to be and why we're all still hanging on until this asshole loses the company.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be funny.
And so, but like that's the way I look at all of it, is that like there are certain reasons for all of them. And just understand it. The other reason why I use a lot of social media stuff is that. And why I do it the way I do it. Like some people, like I know an author who wanted to write a book, and so he limited his social media to 3 o'clock to 3:30.
Yeah.
So he would be writing, and maybe I should do this because I have not finished my books.
Yeah.
But and I probably will institute that in the next few months, a little bit less of this. I've already been instituting a little bit less anyway because I have so much to fucking produce right now.
Yeah.
But here's my problem with that. Like I dip in early, midday, mid-afternoon, evening, and then late night. I dip in because it is different every time. It's different. I have East Coast people. I've got UK people. I've got Europe people. I've got so people all over the world. You're going to get a different experience, and so I don't like just limiting it to one moment in the day because you're going to get a very limited experience.
Yeah,
and so that's the other thing is, and I'm not. By the way, I also am looking for music.
Yeah.
Right. So there's some things that I'm looking for music for, or looking for artists and all of that. So. That's another reason why I kind of dip because, and so I understand for other people, they're just like, I'm bored. I want to be entertained, you guys. You use social media different than I do. I am looking for certain things. I'm also, I want to make sure that I'm not telling boring stories or regurgitating things in a lot of ways. Mm-hmm. But I also don't want to be. It's kind of like when I'm writing music, when I'm writing an album, I try not to listen to too much music because I don't want to be influenced.
I don't want to be
like,
parsing like
that's
that.
why I went to that dominant fourth because I was listening to that song.
Yeah, Well, I think we've beaten the shit out of the social media today. Well done.
All right, so coming up this weekend is the Grammys.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, the Grammys. Naris.
Yeah. Oh.
Naris, everybody.
Oh, boy.
Which I don't even think. Do people even know what Naris is?
I don't think so. That's
What's so funny, it's the Recording Academy.
Yeah.
But like that's the official thing, even though that Naris is actually
Recording Arts and Sciences.
It stands for something, the National Academy of Recording Arts and Sciences.
Yeah.
But you only call it the Recording Academy.
Yeah.
But anyway, Grammys. I want to talk about this a little bit.
Yeah.
And maybe we'll look at what's going on in this week's Grammy. I want to talk in general.
Yeah.
But then also we'll cut it and we'll add in whether we were right or not.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
We'll just guess.
Yeah. Guesstimate.
Well, you're probably wondering how I got into this. No, hey, this is Michael, and most of what's about to follow is kind of Grammy predictions, but most of them were mine, so I don't see any reason to get old Stu involved here. He didn't have any beef on him. There was no heat coming his way. So what you're going to hear is some dings for correct and some fail horns for wrong. And I was wrong. What? I was wrong. Anyway, so that's what's coming up. You're going to hear some predictions, and you're going to hear kind of the outcomes. And I hope you watched the Grammys, but if you didn't, this is a pretty cool way to get you all caught up. All right, back to the show. Full disclosure, I am a Grammy...
You're a member of the Academy?
I'm a member of NARIS. And so I'm a voting member, so full disclosure. But I'm not going to tell you I didn't vote this year. There's a reason why.
Oh, are you going to tell us the reason why?
I don't like the leadership, and I don't like what they've been doing over the last 2 years, and it really pisses me off, and I don't want to be involved in it. And I still, whatever, it's a membership thing. But I will be coming back into the fold. But there's been some sexual abuse problems with some of the leadership. There's been a lot of problems with what they're doing with women. Like it's pissing me off. I'm not the only one.
Yeah.
But I do believe that the Grammys are important. And like when I got into the Grammys, it was a very important moment for me. I was like, because I grew up watching the Grammys, and I always thought, maybe I could win one. And I have not won one yet. But there's plenty of time. Joni Mitchell just won one. There are people that win them in their 80s, y'all.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I wanted to see, do you care about the Grammys in general? And to you people listening, do you care about them? Are you going to watch? Do you think it matters, or are you over it?
For me personally,
I
don't watch any of it. There's I mean, if there's, no
Grammy party over at Stu's.
No Grammy party over in my house. I kind of don't. I mean, some of the performances are really fucking cool. Some of them are not very fucking cool. Like one of my favorite performances was from many years ago. Was when Brandi Carlile closed the whole show out doing the joke. That was absolutely mind-blowingly incredible, and she's something special and very connected to Denver as a music town anyway. So that was cool, but. And I happened to see that while it was live, while it was happening. Nobody else in my house gave a shit about that at the time.
Okay, I definitely have to pause here because there were some amazing performances at this year's Grammys. Not all of them were good, but listen, Annie Lennox with Wendy and Lisa from Prince doing Sinead O'Connor, Nothing Compares to You. Prince wrote that, blah, blah, blah. That was pretty fucking cool. But Tracy Chapman and Luke Combs doing Fast Car, that was stellar. And unfortunately, if you didn't watch this year, you missed Joni Mitchell doing Both Sides Now with Brandi Carlile and a bunch of other great people. It was an amazing performance. Anyway, let's get back to it.
But they'll watch Vanderpump Rules and the Academy Awards and the Emmys and all that kind of stuff. But the music awards nobody cared about. But also, it used to mean something different to artists when they would win a Grammy. There was something would happen with regards to, like, you would get more sales. You would see a movement on your needles and stuff like that from a Grammy winning. And it doesn't seem to do that anymore. It doesn't seem to have the same power that it used to could.
It absolutely does.
You think so?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, tell me.
Even a nominee gets 50% bumps in streams and sales. Mm-hmm. A win, if you were in a close category, you were likely to see over 150%.
Wow.
A few years ago, I think it was it Nicki Minaj? I think she got something like 365% bump.
Wow.
Even
so
Bruno
I'm
Mars. Yeah.
That's
well,
okay.
And there's also, I will just give you a little industry insider information here, is that like a Grammy nomination, while yes, it can give you more streams or sales, as we call them, or whatever. Mm-hmm. That's true. But where it really comes in is touring opportunities. Budget. Your next budget, at least 60% higher.
Wow.
So like if you're able to go in and do an album for 150 grand,
yeah,
you get a Grammy nomination, your next one, you're good for $500,000.
Yeah.
We're going to bring in a great engineer. We're going to get some other people in. We're also going to put a marketing budget behind it.
Yeah.
Because as a label, you want that as a publisher too. You want to know that you're going to have a little bit more push just because of notoriety, just because of named. And you can put it on the marketing material. Yeah. Grammy nominee.
Does that count across categories, or is that specific to kind of the artist of the year, record of the year, that kind of vibe? Does
major categories, I would say. But you know, it especially matters in like some of those sort of mid categories, like best R&B.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you know, those kind of things. Like there is someone this year who most people probably that listen to this probably don't know, Victoria Monet. Mm-hmm. Do you know who she is?
No.
R&B album, R&B song, she's probably going to win. And Victoria Monet won Best R&B Album for Jaguar 2. Mm-hmm. Her 2-year-old is the youngest Grammy nominee.
Wow.
Because she's on...
Fantastic.
She's on, I think...
Oh, fuck
Twinkle,
yeah, I love that so
Star.
much. Okay, now I'm in.
So SZA has the most nominations, 9. But Victoria Monet is going to crush. By the end of this, you're going to know.
She has 1.6 million followers on Instagram.
So let's see what it is by Monday. I would say it's over 2 million.
Yeah.
It's still updating, but it does say she has 2 million now.
Yeah, she's a good-looking lady, too.
You will fucking know who she is.
Fantastic.
How does it make you feel is a song that you should know.
Yeah.
The On My Mama. Anyway, she's coming up, and this is her moment. She's going to win some.
That's cool.
I think. Anyway, so like especially for people like that. So I mean, like even in those categories, you have SZA and you've got, you know, Chris Brown, which is hilarious that Chris Brown is still.
Oh my God, he's even. I don't think they let him back in the building, especially if Rihanna's anywhere near it.
I know.
See, I know stuff.
You're gonna. I know exactly. But you're gonna know about her. That's somebody you're gonna know about.
Yeah.
This is gonna be a huge year for Taylor, obviously.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think personally, I think Taylor Swift is gonna win. Probably 4.
Wow.
You big dummy. So I was wrong. Midnight's won Best Pop Vocal Album, but it also won Album of the Year, which is really the crown jewel. But also, producer Jack Antonoff won Non-Classical, and he's the one who produced Midnight's. So she only won 3. I was wrong. And it's some of it's going to be split with Miley Cyrus because she did a great album. And so it's going to come down to whether the recording, the album, the song, production, Jack Antonoff is in there. He's going to win some. But I mean, how do you get, hi, it's me. I'm the problem. It's me. That's a meme.
Yeah.
That's a song that's a meme.
Yeah.
And like that, how does that not kind of get its flowers, you know?
Yeah.
Speaking of which, Miley Cyrus's Flower Song
Great fucking song.
Get some. And Miley Cyrus did win. Actually, her first and her second Grammy. Best Pop Solo Performance and the Record of the Year for Flowers. I think Ice Spice will probably be the best new artist.
Yeah.
Think Saturday Night Live had a lot to do with that.
Yeah.
Dunkin' Donuts commercial. However, Victoria Monet may take some of that.
Yeah.
So I was kind of wrong about Ice Spice. But I was also right about Victoria Monet. She wins Best New Artist of the Year. And at 34, she became the oldest Best New Artist of the Year since Sheryl Crow won it in 1994 at the age of 33. So you got plenty of time to win Best New Artist, kids. Get out there.
Yeah.
But you will find, I think there's a lot of great new artists. Jelly Roll is on there.
Oh, he's fucking fantastic.
Yeah, Noah Kahan. He was also on Saturday Night Live this year. The War and the Treaty. War and Treaty is one of the syncs of the week that we had.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
Remember
that?
But yeah, so I think Anti-Hero, Song of the Year.
Yeah.
Wrong again. It was Billie Eilish's What Was I Made For? And actually, it was a great call. That's a great song. And then it's somewhere between Miley and Taylor Swift for Anti-Hero or Flowers for Record of the Year. All right, I was kind of cheating, but Miley won for Flowers. But man, in the background, you've got Boy Genius, who has just blown up this year.
Fuck yeah.
And let's take a second to give Boy Genius some love. 3 Grammys, first-time Grammy winners, Best Rock Performance, Best Rock Song for Not Strong Enough, as well as Best Alternative Music Album for The Record. Awesome.
Did you saw the Gretsch, right?
Yes.
That's so
we posted it.
Yeah,
$700 bucks.
700.
Go get that Gretsch.
Yeah, get it. Fuck
it's
yeah.
a junior, so you know any beginning woman can play it too. It doesn't matter your hand size.
Did you see Alanis spoke this week at, let me find it here. There was an award show for We Are Moving the Needle, which is reshaping the future of the recording industry by empowering women, non-binary, and trans producers and engineers, which I am like, fuck yeah. More diverse voices, and so they did an award ceremony earlier this week. I think it was over the weekend, and Alanis and Shirley Manson from Garbage and a bunch of other like powerhouse ladies were fucking speakers and award winners, and my friend Simone Torres was there, and I think she won something too because she's a fucking badass. But Linda Perry was there. It was just they had their 2024 Resonator Awards. So shit like that is what I'm more interested in, is that kind of stuff than the Grammys. Mainly because I like the idea of shifting the perspectives and narratives to be more inclusive. Are we surprised that this is my brand today? No, not at all. But I love this shit.
Is where I think that the Grammys are coming on more. This is going to be a year of women. And this is the one I'm most proud and happy to be exactly right about. It was the night of women. Even if you set aside the people that won earlier in the day, Boy Genius, Paramore, Joni Mitchell, and others, the night of the awards, aside from participation trophies by Phineas and Jack Antonoff with Billy and Taylor, all of the 9 televised awards were won by women. And that is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's really between Taylor Swift and Miley Cyrus, Boy Genius, for the very top stuff. Visual media song, that is a shoo-in for Barbie. That's a shoo-in. I mean, I would have put money on it. Yeah. What Was I Made For by Billie Eilish and Phineas. Best song written for visual media. Total shoo-in. For some of those things. This is... like Barbie the album is going to do some hot business. And look at that. Your boy don't miss. Barbie the album, Grammy Award, compilation, soundtrack for visual media. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, again, when you look at the best new artists, Gracie Adams, Ice Spice, Coco Jones, Victoria Monet, there's some guys in there too.
Yeah.
But like Song of the Year, you're just looking at so much. A&W is Lana Del Rey, Anti-Hero Taylor.
Yeah.
You've
these
got
are performers. Like when you get down to the producer, engineers, that kind of category, are we still looking at a lot of dudes?
Well, I mean, when you're getting into producers, this is where I want to see the difference.
Yeah, that's where I want to see
more women behind the boards.
Me too.
More women calling the shots of the session.
Yeah.
More women mixers and engineers.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what the Grammys is supposed to do, especially the producer and engineers division, is that it is meant, they are doing more, but it is meant to, like, the only way you get those jobs is if you know some of those other people.
Yeah.
Like, right, it is who you know a lot of times.
Yeah.
But it's also a thing where like independent artists look at records or they look at credits and go, I love the sound of that.
Yeah.
I want that sound.
Yeah.
Okay, well, now you're able to look at Boy Genius. Now you're able to look at some of these things and be like, okay, the person that's behind that, or this is how Linda Perry kind of got into it. It was like, you know, people didn't really know she was producing. Knew she wrote, knew she sang.
Yeah, they knew she was
like,
in Four
she
Non Blondes.
produces Pink. And it's like, oh, fuck, I want that sound.
Yeah. The way that she produced that documentary where they're, you know, she's talking about how she produced that stuff, that has become like part of even my process because I fucking love that. And it's like, you know, but that's the for me, even though I am still a songwriting artist and I'm making my own stuff and this, that, and the other thing, the engineering and production piece is where I'm starting to really kind of like, I'm a straight white dude and I look it and I'm like, I would like to hear some people who don't look like me make some music in that capacity, be in the chairs. And that's why you've got a point where it's like, you know, the more power that the lady artists have in this context, the more power there is to change who is sitting in that production chair.
Yeah, absolutely. So. And that comes with, you know, kind of making sure that women are part of the songwriting room.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
Because then you understand the producing part of it. Then you start understanding how we're going to take that song from A to B to C and then release. Yeah. And then you're like, then you get into, you know, it's a lot of times where an artist becomes involved in the mix and they're like, oh shit, that's how you make my voice sound that way. I want to do that. Yeah. You know, so like if you never are in that room, you know, that becomes a problem. So like someone like Olivia Rodrigo, who's so young and such a great songwriter and an artist, you know, she's in a best rock category. Now she's not going to win. Yeah. But because still. Guess what? This is also another year of Foo Fighters. Yeah. Foo Fighters is going to take a few. Yeah. And they should. Oh, boy, was I wrong about this one. Foo Fighters had 3 nominations. And it was for our Best Rock Album, but here we are, Best Rock Song, and Best Rock Performance for Rescued. Which, by the way, I thought was a great song. And the whole Taylor thing, I really thought they were going to at least take one of them. Look, Metallica, Paramore, they deserve all of it. But I kind of disagree with this one. I think Foo Fighters should have gotten something for Rescued, but they didn't, and I was wrong. But We Are Here, Rescued, this is the Taylor, Taylor album, basically, and they're going to get some. But when you look at, like, Best Pop Solo Performance, I mean, it's Miley Cyrus, it's Doja Cat, it's Billie Eilish, it's Olivia Rodrigo, it's Taylor Swift. I'd say there's no guy there.
Fuck yeah.
You get to the Best Pop Vocal Album, the only guy in there is Ed Sheeran.
Yeah. Yeah.
But he's not going to win. It's Kelly Clarkson, it's Miley, it's Olivia, it's Taylor. Yeah. And so this is a Taylor year, I really think. Yeah. I also think one group to watch out for is Paramore.
Ooh, really?
I think this last album, we forget, but go back and listen to their last album. The Paramore album is brilliance. Yeah. And
I really liked it. I know a lot of Paramore fans did not enjoy it because it was very
adventurous. I think I love music industry people are like, Jesus, like that offbeat out of time. I'm always running out of time. I love being right about this one too. Paramore won 2 Grammys. This Is Why was awarded Best Rock Album, and the title track won Best Alternative Music Performance. And interestingly, Paramore are the first female-fronted band to win Best Rock Album, although solo artists Alanis Morissette and Sheryl Crow won that award in the 90s. But fuck yeah, good for Paramore. It's a great album. And then they followed it up with a tour that like had them. By the way, they're going to be doing. I don't know if people know this. Well, by the time this comes out, they're doing a Talking Heads thing. Oh, yeah. Fantastic. She's wearing the jacket,
the big suit.
Yeah, it's coming out. Yeah.
Oh, that's fucking cool.
So watch for that. There's going to be that happening.
That's awesome. Anyway, she is another artist her and hold on one second, I got to look at this person because I'm losing my mind. I know her name, but apparently I haven't had enough coffee today. Lauren Mayberry from Churches.
Churches.
Churches. She put out a solo EP last year that's really fucking good too. Nice. And it's like I just love that. Like I love that the. I Hayley Williams is one thing, and like Lauren is kind of doing her own thing, little badass Scottish human. But Like, I like the idea that, like, they're taking chances. They're like, it's my music. I'm going to do what I like with it, and I'm going to, see what happens. And I mean, I'm a huge fan of Churches anyway, and I'm a huge fan of Paramore. But anytime they take a chance and take a risk and push that, that's the thing I am interested in, for sure.
Yeah, I do. I'm not sure how many it's going to get in for what, but What Was I Made For by Billie Eilish on the Barbie song,
great song.
And Phineas. And a lot of people forget this, but that is Billie Eilish and Phineas producer.
Yeah.
It is Billie Eilish and Phineas songwriter. It is Billie Eilish, Rob Konelsky, and Phineas as engineers and mixers.
Yeah.
And it's kind of the same thing when you get down to like Antihero. So yes, Jack Antonoff, but it's also Taylor Swift producer.
Yeah.
And also Jack Antonoff and then Serban Gaina, but also Laura Sisk.
Yeah.
And Lorenzo Wolf as engineers and mixers.
Yeah.
And so we are getting more women into that.
Yeah.
And also, and that is, God, we need more of that.
I love this idea that the producer chair is being shared with the songwriters and the artists these days. Like, that wasn't always the case,
No.
And like, I've always done that with anything I've produced, because it's not just it might be my aesthetic for the thing, but having the artist come in and like share that role. Because the goal for me is, like, at some point in time, if you're into this kind of thing, I want you to be able to do it without me.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
So, anyway.
Also, another thing to point out here, I'll just run through a few things to point out. And by the way, when you're listening to this, you already know the answers to this.
Yeah.
But best rock performance, look, Boy Genius is in that too.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you got Foo Fighters Rescued, but also Metallica. You have a rock band in their 60s in a best rock performance. That's kind of cool. You've got best metal performance. You've got Slipknot in there.
Ah, yes.
That's kind of cool. So we can and probably should quibble about Boy Genius even being in the best rock performance category, but they won for not strong enough in that. However, Metallica, where all the members are over 60 years old except for Robert Trujillo, who's 59, they won a Grammy for 72 seasons for Best Metal Performance, and that's fucking awesome. You've got Angry by the Rolling Stones in the category for Best Rock Song.
Fuck yeah.
Guys in their late 70s, early 80s.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. That's all right. We like that, I think.
I think it's cool to see that there's so you have opened my eyes to that there's a little bit more diversity here than I thought there was.
I should be selling this. Yeah.
Yeah. Totally. But it's like I'm happy to hear that it's getting a little deeper into the the accolades are getting spread a little bit further than they were, which I like.
Yeah. And I mean, and there's a lot to love in country. Tyler Childers, Brandy Clark, Luke Combs, Dolly Parton, Chris Stapleton.
Yeah.
There's some good stuff to like. There's Zach Bryan on featuring Casey Musgraves. Got a really good song, I Remember Everything. That's great. And as it turned out, they won for Best Country Duo or Performance.
Yeah.
Vince Gill.
Yeah.
Was back in the country duo thing with it was Paul Franklin. I think that's his name. But, I mean, go ahead and give that one to Jelly Roll. That's going to be Jelly Roll and Lainey Wilson, probably.
Yeah.
Nope. But, yeah, I mean, like, there's some really good things happening in country where, like, Kelsey Ballerini is in Best Country Album, Brothers Osborne, Zach Bryan, Tyler Childress, Lainey Wilson.
Love the Brothers Osborne. They're fucking best.
And Best Americana, a little category that's, fun for the people that we know.
Yeah.
You've got, Brandy Clark, Rodney Crowell, Rhiannon Giddens, Jason Isbell in the 400 unit, Allison Russell. Those are not household names. Jason, maybe.
Yeah.
But that's nice. That's nice that there's some new come up.
Yeah.
By the way, Bluesgrass album. Guess who's in that? Willie fucking Nelson.
Yeah. 90
also,
fucking years old.
A dear friend of mine, Sam Bush, is in that again.
Oh, fuck yeah.
That's not fair. How many fucking Grammys is he? He's always up for something.
Need any more? Yeah.
I know. And also, fan favorite of mine, and we mentioned Juliana earlier, but she should know, in Best Contemporary Blues Album, Samantha Fish and Jesse Dayton.
Ooh.
are in in that category.
Fish
Larkin
is
Poe is in
fantastic.
there.
Yeah.
Ruthie Foster.
You said Larkin Poe's in there?
Yeah,
Hell
for Blood
yes.
Harmony.
Fuck yeah.
And Larkin Poe did in fact win Best Contemporary Blues Album for Blood Harmony. But like in Best Folk Album, Joni Mitchell is up for a fucking Grammy. And Joni Mitchell won that fucking Grammy for Best Folk Album.
Jeez. Awesome.
Against Rufus Wainwright and Paul Simon and Nickel Creek and Old Crow Medicine Show. And, but I mean, like, that's some fun, stuff there. I think that's really fun. Where there's, like, some older people into it.
Yeah.
Do not be surprised if you see Meryl Streep walk away with Best Audiobook for Big Tree. Swing and a miss. She's going up against Rick Rubin, by the way.
Oh, well.
For The Creative Act.
Which is a great book. It's a really great book.
And also Michelle Obama.
Oh,
and
man.
also William Shatner.
Oh, okay.
And by the way, I want to mention something really quick. I don't know if you know this, but I'm not going to go through the whole big thing here.
The rigmarole.
But if you get a chance, go find Pablo Torre Finds Out. It's a great podcast from Pablo Torre. And he just did a podcast. You will find it on YouTube or wherever you get podcasts.
Yeah.
But he just did this thing with Justin Tinsley, who's a great music journalist, thinker. Fun fact, 1964, the person you know as Muhammad Ali is Cassius Clay, the boxer.
Yeah.
He won a Grammy for the best comedy album of the year.
What?
Others in that category in 1964, Bill Cosby, Carl Reiner and Mel Brooks, Smothers Brothers, Alan Sherman, the guy who did Hello Mudda, Hello Fada. He beat all of them.
Wow.
And got a comedy Grammy. He would later come back in 1976 and be nominated for Best Children's Music Album for an album about tooth decay.
What?
That also had Howard Cosell and Frank Sinatra. I'm not going to tell you any more. There's a whole hour podcast about this. Go find it. Pablo Torre Finds Out. Muhammad Ali winning a comedy album Grammy. Super fucking great.
That sounds amazing. I love it. Yes. Yeah.
So one thing I wanted to talk about when we started this is that no one cares about the Grammys, right? No one. It's gone down. Yeah. We know that there was a big bump last year.
Yeah.
Oh God, we were in a death spiral, dude. There were it's been around 20 to 25 to 30 for a million viewers. Up and down mid 90s, mid 2000s there was a little bumps there. The last time it was really big was 2012 with 40 million viewers.
That's 12 years ago.
That was the Adele year.
Ooh. Yeah.
And the Foo Fighters year.
Foo Fighters.
But like the 62nd Grammys, which was 2020, it bumped up a little bit. COVID. Actually, it wasn't COVID. It was before COVID hit. So it was 18 million viewers.
Wow.
But then the 2 years after that, 9 million viewers, 9.2, 9.5.
In German, that means no million. You know,
it means
right?
9 million. Yeah,
no million.
And so last year it jumped back up to 12, and we were like, oh wow, okay, people are coming back. Because the argument is, are people watching CBS? No, not unless you're a grandma watching Blue Bloods.
Are they watching Paramount though?
But it's going to be streaming on Paramount too.
Yeah.
So we'll see. And these are same day numbers. These are not aggregate numbers. Same day live telecast coverage numbers. Yeah. So what do we put the number at? Last year was 12 million, which came up from 9. Okay. Do we think this year that the Swifties are enough to push it?
I think probably so.
I think so too.
I think so.
I think it might do a monster number. I think it might go near 20.
You think so?
I do.
Well, okay. I would say it's not going to be a big bump. I would say it's going to be, because I know everything there is to know about, television and broadcast media and the audiences therein. I'm going to say 14.
14. 12.5 to 14. Okay, yeah. I'm going. I think it's going to go over. I think 20, maybe 19.5, but 20. I think it's going to touch 20, and it's going to be part of the story.
I look forward to me being wrong, because it's...
And now, here is your answer to all of these questions. Boop. So first of all thanks to Kelsey, the amazing producer, for putting up with me for all these cut-ins and edits. And we kind of gave you all those answers during the podcast there because we made it like an interactive podcast. What? But there is one last question that we have. What would the viewership be? Last year it was 12 million viewers. So what's it going to be this year? Stu said it would be 14 million. Was that right? No. And Michael said it would be near 20 million, 19 something. Was that right? No. However, it did jump up to 16.9 million, almost 17, a 34% jump from last year. So that's pretty good. I do think the Swifties moved the number a little bit, but it's a good number and we can go from there. All right, let's get back to the show. All right, everybody, let's get
That's great. That's great. That's beautiful.
All right, well, let's get to the Sync of the Week.
Congratulations to all the winners, by the way.
Yes. Oh, you guys all did great. I'm glad we were right about everything. That's fantastic.
Well done.
You want to do yours?
Well, I texted you this morning because I saw a trailer that I really liked the placement in, but I'm going to have to do a little bit of research to get the folks involved in on that one. So I'll save that one for another time. But I watched Gran Turismo on the Netflix, a PlayStation movie, a Sony movie made by Sony, for Sony, with Sony.
That's called an
Sony.
IP movie.
What's that?
That's an IP movie.
That's an IP movie, and it is very entertaining. It is very, very, very entertaining, and it's based on a true story of a dude who was really, really great at playing Gran Turismo, the racing simulator, and got offered a chance to become a real driver for Nissan. And it is a very, very, very fun, entertaining
Is it a true story?
movie. Based on a true story, yeah. And the guy who it's based on is actually one of the stunt drivers in the movie, which is really fucking cool.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so there's a bunch of really fun little acorns like that. Directed by Neil Blomkamp of District 9 fame, one of the greatest sci-fi movies ever. And it's really fucking sexy, really well made. The effects are great, the design is great, the aesthetics really great. David Harbour is a delightful curmudgeon, and Orlando Bloom still fucking hot.
Yeah.
But there's
He's a Katy cat.
What's that?
He's a Katy cat.
Yeah, very much so. I think he might be a Katy Tomcat at this point. So like there's a whole lot of this was my second exposure to Enya that weekend. The placement was the character when he needs to kind of decompress, he listens to some fucking like some like new age kind of easy listening stuff, and there's a placement by Kenneth Gorelick, also known as Kenny G, and his version of Songbird. Like there's a whole lot of, like fucking more modern music in there, but this guy decompresses to fucking Kenny G, and it's really fun to like. I was like, is that fucking Kenny G? And then it was, as I said, there was another Enya. It was a different Enya song. I heard two Enya songs. One was on the Family Plan, which I mentioned, the Vanilla Ice placement. But there was an Enya. There was he played. I think Only Time was a song he plays while he's trying to keep his family asleep while he's battling some fucking bikers. Mark Wahlberg is. And this one was, it was Orinoco Flow, I believe, was the one that they had. And I was like, fuck yeah. So I kept getting like all these little new age, new kind of, music things. But Kenny G, that is, of course, Sony Music Entertainment by arrangement with them. Nye Lee, music manager on that for Sony Pictures. Yeah, so like talk about an IP movie. Like, oof.
Yeah. Sony's making every dime from
every single fucking dollar from that fucking movie is going to Sony, and it's really fun. It's really fun.
Okay, the reason I'm laughing during that whole thing is the second you said Enya, yeah. I immediately went, oh, hi. Again, that is Enigma.
That is Enigma. You're 0 for 2 on Enigma.
The return to innocence.
Yes, that is.
I'm sorry, I did it again, but I wanted to shut up because happy. I knew I caught it.
I love it.
So if you've heard this podcast before, you know that Michael fucks up Well,
Enya
I fuck up
versus
a lot
Enigma.
of things, but Enya and Enigma
Oh, that's glorious.
and Deep Forest, yeah, I will fuck up all of those songs.
It's funny, that was all stuff that I had in my 20s when I was trying to get sexed, those bands were on the fucking playlist.
Lorena McKennitt, totally.
Oh god. the was the Mummers, whatever the fuck is.
You know what we
name-
should do? We should smudge the house.
I still smudge my house. What are you talking about?
Oh,
I'm just gonna have you. Okay, I'm gonna light up some fucking sage over here. I'm gonna need you to come and stand in my doorway and just do that for like 30 minutes while I take care of the whole house.
Take your shoes off and go get some salt. I got an idea.
There's a pentagram in the middle of the floor. Sit
That's
there and
right.
light some fucking candles.
I think we should do some sex magic.
Sex magic. Band name.
Speaking of sex magic, so
Excellent.
Mine is also from Netflix.
Fantastic.
I went and I binged Griselda.
Ooh, I heard it's great.
The godmother, Griselda.
Yeah.
I think 40% of the people that watch this are going to fucking hate it.
Yeah.
And 60% are going to love it. I am in the latter. I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it also because Sofia Vergara.
Yeah.
Go ahead and do your rolls hard.
Vergara.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Is going for an award here. She is made to be ugly and beautiful in the 70s, but she
Wow.
does not look like her. She falls into the character at some point. You kind of forget who she is, and she does an amazing job.
Yeah.
This is absolutely a closed caption
Yeah.
kind
Have
of
the
thing
words
to
on.
watch unless you know Spanish very well.
Yeah.
There's so much fucking Spanish in it.
Yeah.
But if you don't know about it, it's basically Griselda was known as the godmother of Miami drug pins, the kingpin in the late 70s, early 80s, that left severed heads and dead bodies and killed babies. And I
Holy
mean,
shit.
it was serious fucking cocaine shit, right? It was serious stuff.
Yeah.
If you want to know the background of the story, there is an amazing group of movies called Cocaine Cowboys.
Oh,
you may
wow.
have heard about that from Billy
No.
Corben. Go to cocainecowboys.com, and I will give you a little bit of the end of this, is that Billy Corben is doing a podcast that is mirroring each episode of this limited series on Netflix with the only surviving son of Griselda,
Wow.
Michael Corleone.
I'm sorry, is that
doing
his
the-
real fucking name?
That is his real name.
Oh,
And
wow.
is doing a podcast with him to get what was right, what was wrong about it.
Yeah.
And these are people that are all around Miami that grew up in this time and that remember this. And so check that out. So it's at cocainecowboys.com. But if you watch this on Netflix, it's stylized. I know it's not completely true. Obviously, it's got to be a little bit more
Yeah.
fun to watch it, but it is also, it's just brutal to watch, and it's enjoyable but fun if you're into, like, listen, if you like sort of those 80s drugs movies or Miami Vice, you're going to like this.
Yeah.
A lot of great music, a lot of great Spanish music is in it
Yeah.
from the time. If you have any connection to, Colombians or Cubans or Mexicans or the people that have come and established themselves in our southern cities like that, you should definitely watch this because it's got so much of kind of the problems of America that still aren't solved, like the Miami Police Department not speaking English or speaking Spanish at all.
Oh,
like
wow.
they have one woman who speaks Spanish
Yikes.
during this time in the mid 70s. It's ridiculous, right?
Yeah.
And you forget that, like, back in the day, Miami was sort of a backwater town.
Yeah.
It wasn't this
Yeah.
glitzy, glamorous thing.
Yeah. It's not
Anyway,
Bad
so
Boys.
it's really fun if you're into that sort of thing and you're down for closed captioning. It's
Yeah.
a great performance. It's, I mean, I gotta say, there's a guy, whoever plays Rivy, this character in it, he is electric on the screen. It's
Yeah.
kind of worth it for him, but Sofia Vergara is going to win something for this. She must.
Martin
because
Rodriguez is Rivy.
Yeah, he's a fucking rock star on screen. It's amazing. He is amazing.
Fantastic.
So anyway, Griselda, the song is "Talking in Your Sleep" by the Romantics.
Hell yes.
Now there's
Great
a
choice.
bunch of disco that you'll know. There's a Let's Dance placement in this. There's a few other great ones. But I wanted to point out the Romantics. If you don't know about this song, Talking in Your Sleep, it's worth It holds up, by the way. It's a great song from an unlikely band in the 80s, in the late 70s, early 80s, from a band that was kind of a punk band that turned into a pop band that kind of was like a throwback to the 50s, but ended up being as a pop number, kind of top 10 sort of band.
Big hit, What I Like About You, right? That's the Romantics,
Yeah. They only had like 3 or 4 hits, but a real fun band. I've got stories about them, but we're not going to talk about that. Talking in Your Sleep is a great song, and the way it runs into the way that runs into the club that it's playing in is a great placement.
Cool.
So Liza Richardson and Mark Mondello are the co-music supervisors on this. However, if you dig into this project, lots of music people on it.
Oh, cool.
Tons of songwriters writing around the other songs. Tons of music supervisors helping out. Music plays a huge part in it. It's pervasive
what a fun
throughout
adventure.
the whole thing.
Like, how cool.
So if you're watching it from an entertainment industry perspective, it's so much fun to be like, oh my God, that placement, and where they put this part, and how they did this, and the look of it, the feel of it. It's not going to get its flowers because of the topic, probably. Because it's kind of a downer. And if you know about the story, you know kind of how it ends. But apparently, it doesn't really end that way. So again, that's why I ask you to go look at Cocaine Cowboys. So if you're into this kind of shit, this is the stuff. Griselda is kind of fun. By the way, it's #1 on Netflix right now. So people are watching, and I think you should at least give it a shot.
Like a cocaine cowboy.
Doing bumps up your nose with a rubber hose in the alley. Like a cocaine cowboy. All right.
I really think that one of the things that needs to happen when we go to video is we do need to have some type of parody performance at the end of every single episode, just so people can see how into it we get.
Oh, yeah, because you didn't see me grabbing the mic.
You can see the grabbing the microphone
like
and thrusting your crotch. Just rhinestones flying off your shirt.
Rolling my arm around like Pete Townsend.
Yes, exactly. All right.
All right, let's wrap this sucker up, everybody. Hey, make sure to check out StuMillerMusic.com. That's StuMillerMusic.com for all your music editing, mixing, producing needs. He also has some private courses that he can give you.
I do. I've got some private courses.
He can teach you about this business like nobody's business.
I can. There is a reason that I ask all of the questions on this podcast. It's because I am the everyman to Michael's superior intellect with regards to this subject. So I will go, hey, can you explain this to me? And I know he can. And so you're welcome,
Stu has
America.
the patience of an emu. Also, remember to rate and subscribe. Give us 5 stars. Leave a hilarious comment over there on Apple Music.
5 stars.
Or on Apple Podcasts.
Yeah.
You can find us anywhere you find people. At 2ShotsMusicPod.com is our website. You can email us. 2ShotsMusicPod@gmail.com is our email. And you can follow us with the big A sign at 2ShotsMusicPod wherever you follow people.
That's the number 2, not TWO, number 2.
Number 2. I know. Now I feel like Jason Kelsey. Where he says, new heights with one S. Anyway, until then, we do hope you write a great song. We know this is a long one. If you got this far, fucking thank you.
Yeah, we want to hear
and you should email us
too.
And tell us what the last song we talked about on this podcast was. And then you'll be like, you'll win something. We'll give you a coffee cup.
Yes, coffee mug.
What was the last song we mentioned?
Juliana's
going to email us. Yeah, Juliana's going to win. Yeah. She always does. Until then, write a great song and continue to look good, continue to feel good, and we'll talk to you next time. Goodbye.